Welcome to the Contingency Plan Podcast. My name is Jedi Master David, and with me as always is Darth Austin.
Hello, everyone.
Back in the house, man.
Back in the saddle again.
You want a little 80s rock and roll or something there? Is that what we're doing?
Sure.
Yes. Another week down, and another attempt at at kind of a hiking trip, you know?
Don't call it camping because it's not camping.
It won't be this week. I have some extenuating circumstances that, of course, we will get into more for our exclusive Patreon-only Patreon episodes on
He got beat up by a grandma.
Oh, man. But, yeah, no, it's good to obviously have you back. We have some plans tomorrow to do some trail hiking. We got rained. Well, we didn't get rained out. We thought we were going to get thunderstormed out, so we kind of had just a random day of going and seeing how depressing,
Every store nearby could be.
Yeah, music stores and just everything.
The comic shop, and that wasn't depressing.
No, the comic shop was okay. It's just, if you're...
the prices on some things were depressing. But.
Well, that unfortunately is happening here and there, but I think we were kind of looking for the first issue of the Ronin, the last Ronin Turtles comic, but they didn't have it. So you'll have to figure that out on your own.
Shell out $20 on eBay,
dude. It's ridiculous. It's crazy how much back issues can be and how valuable it is getting them when you can.
Well, and it's something super popular right now. I mean, everyone's obsessing over it, so.
It's pretty wild. I didn't even know it was happening. I think we already told that story, so I won't rehash the story. But, yeah, so we have Bad Batch. What are we on? Episode 9, Bounty Lost. And we are also going to go through some comics. And I had realized that we kind of skipped over the first issue, War of the Bounty Hunters, issue 1 of this sort of standalone. So that came out back in May, and I just forgot about it. And as I was trying to figure out the stupid canon for this whole War of the Bounty Hunters line due to, intersecting all these comics at different times, I had to sit down, and that's how I found it. So we'll go through that, and then we will also go through issue 13 of Bounty Hunters, which honestly, I think that they both, this was like the perfect time really to do it.
Yeah, they really worked well together.
So we're going to go through that, probably talk some other nonsense. But, how's your week been?
Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Just anticipating my new vacation schedule. It's about to start in a week or two. A couple more weeks of overtime, and then I work 3 days a week for like 2 months straight because I built up way too much vacation time.
Wow.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's really nice. I know that I've got a couple of extended weekends as well, trying to enjoy better weather.
Yeah.
We've got July 4th coming up here pretty quick. I usually make a 4 or 5 day weekend out of that, just out of principle. I've been dotting a few because last year I think like all my time off kind of just fell in like November and December because I just wasn't using it.
Yeah, so. And that's a terrible time to have off too. I mean, for some people, the cold doesn't matter, but camping trips aren't as fun and just kind of going out in general. So,
well, it also sucked because we were working from home, so
yeah,
we weren't doing anything, man. All the plans just got canceled. So yeah, it's good. Anything else going on?
Some extended camping trips going on here soon.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, would like to definitely see that.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Bought a house. I guess that's something going on.
Yeah, that's something. Something super minor that everybody does every single hour of the day. Yeah. Or at least your realtors would...
I'm still getting those notifications. I'm still getting those generic notifications from them, even though I texted them like, "Hey, leave me alone now."
No, I actually it's stopped now, but that happened to me quite a bit as well. It was funny because like there was one place where I was looking at kind of like a condo, But it's not like exclusive, but it's just one of those things that they sell very quick, and it really depends on who you know.
Yeah.
So I remember talking to someone who was just in the know. And they like signed me up on a mailing list. It's like, oh yeah, we'll let you know. And I was like, well, okay. And then just never heard anything. So went about my business and got the house I'm in now. But I got those notifications for a while. Not that anything was available, but just like, I'm still here. It's like, well, I don't care if you're still here. I wanted one of those condos.
Yeah.
But yeah, the housing market's nuts. So yeah, you've got something, maybe not forever. Obviously,
certainly not forever.
But something good for right now.
Yeah, a couple years of peace and solitude until everything calms down. It's funny, we were talking before recording about, your job and the fraud department, just things that you kind of, they're triggers and things that look odd. And we decided to pay cash for this. Instead of paying a check. It was actually from a family member, and he had just inherited a lot. He didn't really want more things coming into his account, so we decided to pay cash. So we pulled like 10 grand out all at once. And I just kept thinking the whole time, it's like, I'm going to get a call on this. There's going to be a question. This just looks really fishy. Who pulls out 10 grand for anything anymore?
Well, not very many people do, but you have always been a rather remarkable saver. It's not like, no offense. I mean, but your job sucks. No, no, but you're not like a Wall Street banker who's stealing everybody's money. Not that they do that or anything, but you have a good job, but you have just always been able to save a ton more. But yeah, I've known the feeling of holding, I mean, granted, I watched a show on a guy who has a $500 million house that it's got like a nightclub in it and so many bars and like there's like a peeping Tom area, like literally there were like cameras in the bathrooms. But anyway, he seemed like a real skeevy dude. But to him, 10 grand's nothing. But like to us, 10 grand is like, that's big.
If I lose this is gonna hurt.
Well, yeah, and then I can't remember. There was something I remember them playing the joke. It's like, here's 20 grand. And then they show this little tiny stack of like $100 bills. It's like, so that's what 20 grand looks like. And it was like in a suitcase, Yeah. It's like, you got a suitcase for this?
Well, it's funny. Like, I'm not big into music that talks about this, but like rappers are always talking about bands by amounts of money. And that's, for some reason, I couldn't stop thinking about that as she was counting the money, pulling the band off, counting it.
Oh my God! You had a little rap song running in your head.
Yeah, just a little bit. And then like she's trying to stuff it in the little envelope that's meant for like maybe $200. And I don't know why I found that entertaining. It's like I could smack someone and probably knock them out with this little wad of cash.
I mean, I've even had to like take $1,000 out for this, that, or the other just to transfer to another bank that you can't wire to credit and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I even feel weird about doing that.
Yeah.
Just
it's your money, but you're paranoid about actually having it in your hand.
Yeah, it's like I have a lockbox on me, which makes it more, conspicuous. It's like, why is that guy carrying around that locked armor-plated suitcase? I think I should steal it.
Yeah. That's the thing. I was so paranoid just driving to the BMV to go sign everything over with that in the car. It's like, can we just like do the transaction back at the house? Can we head straight back to the house first and then go there? Can this be your problem now?
Yeah.
But I think it's funny. Like they made me sign this form, basically stating that I understand that this is my problem as soon as I walk out the door. It's like, well, who wouldn't assume that? Like, who's going to try and claim something? You get robbed right outside of the bank, and you're gonna blame the bank.
I mean, people do. I mean, the reason they do it is because it's probably happened at one time or another. But yeah, I get you. It's nerve wracking, and plus, you hear stories of like people getting pulled over with legitimate sums of money. Mm-hmm. No ill intention. This is a legitimate sum of money that I'm literally going to farmers.
Like going to buy a car or something.
Well, it happens a lot with like farmers and like larger pieces of equipment, keeping it sort of local and, you 14 grand for so on and so forth. I actually think that was a real amount from a story that's vaguely in my head. But, getting pulled over and getting the money seized because the cops are like, well, you're clearly not doing what you're saying you're doing. It's like, but they are though. And it's notoriously hard to ever get that money back from the federal government once they absorb it. So,
well, I'm paranoid even at home about that because, like, I have a little safe. They're just gonna go rob me now, but I have a little safe, and my wife does a little babysitting on the side, and she'll get paid in cash, so we'll keep the money in that. And whenever I pull that money out just to like go to dinner or something, I always feel like a drug dealer. Like, this is highly illegal.
When you have to knock the cocaine off of the bills, and yes, that's probably no. Trust me, I get it. But I was always when I was a kid. When I was a younger man, I did have a mild obsession with paper money. Like I like to have it.
It feels good.
I like to count it.
Yeah.
Like, and then I have to go wash my hands because it's pretty gross.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I actually always like to have some cash.
Well, you don't always have access to your bank.
No,
Truthfully.
No, exactly not. And I mean, I've been doing YouTube for a long time, and I've tried to extol that point. This is getting off topic. Obviously, we will get back into Star Wars, but maybe some of you need to know this. There are a lot of like little mini kits, right, that people sell. It's like, survival kit in an Altoids can. That's pretty popular.
Yeah.
But I have seen so many of those kits where what they'll do is they will put in like $2 in singles and like $2 in quarters. You do realize that vending machine prices have gone up, right?
Yeah.
And I've told people this at all time, a lot. You should have, at bare minimum, $50 cash around you at all times. But not one $50 bill. You got to break this up into denominations.
Yeah, because you can't break that up in a lot of situations on
and
the spot.
Keep $5 bills.
Yeah.
Do you know how annoying it is? Because people, at least in America...
20s, because that's all you get from the bank.
Well, yeah, exactly. But like $75. I need to go buy an extension ladder. And I had some in mind, $75. I need a 5. Not many people have 5s.
Yeah.
And it's just I got a bunch of singles. We all know what you're doing with those singles. They're going to be gone this weekend. Don't worry about that. But that's probably a bad joke.
Yeah, we're losing some people here.
It's fine. But no, seriously.
But no, cash is something I feel like no one really appreciates anymore. No. And there are some things that, you have your downfalls. Like, again, if you get robbed. If you get robbed online and someone steals your card information, you can get reimbursed by most banks if you can prove the fraud.
Right.
You're out of luck if it's cash. You're just not getting it back.
Yeah, and I had a friend who actually in town here was robbed. $600 cash in her purse.
It hurts.
Had the window smashed into her, nice vehicle. Smash and grab. Obviously, probably being watched. But I think they did catch the person. I think she got some stuff back, but I mean, cash is always the first thing to go.
Well, I'm paranoid about that because not keeping cash on me, but making sure I keep cash on me because there's been multiple times where it's not that I didn't have the money in my checking account, but I keep most of my money in savings.
Yeah,
I don't know why. I just like to keep it in savings.
Yeah.
Because if I don't, then I'll probably spend it. And I can easily transfer that back and forth, no problem. But if my bank is undergoing maintenance or it's glitching for the day for some reason, it can't authenticate my password for some reason, and I can't transfer that money over, then it's like I'm broke. Even though I have the money, I'm broke. So I like the idea of having the cash on hand.
Well, and happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there.
Oh yes, happy Father's Day.
Obviously, we're late on that, but still happy Father's Day. But we took our dad out for a little kind of breakfast and chill at this terrible dive bar. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but it is definitely a dive bar back where he lives. And our father loves a Bloody Mary.
Yeah, favorite drink.
And it's not just like a straight up, he loves to put all the stuff in it. He gets fancy with it. I remember like years ago, you literally bought him like a Bloody Mary bar with all the ingredients and like pearl onions and stuff for Christmas. And he just likes that. But they had this Bloody Mary bar on a pool table
with the blanket over it.
But I mean, the breakfast wasn't bad. You know, I had a full plate of breakfast. You guys had some sandwiches, but it was nice to spend some time with him. But the dive bar was cash only, and I had some singles. You know, from my and actually, I think you gave me some like when you were paying me back for like dinner or something, and then I don't remember. I just had singles for some reason, but I was like, I actually probably don't have enough cash to pay for my breakfast. So you spotted me on that one. But yeah.
And you get the fee because their ATM charges you like $3 to pull out money, and it's a shady generic ATM. So
stupid story, but like I've played the lottery literally a handful of times in my life, only when it was like ridiculously historically large. And I remember one time I went in and it was like, crazy large, no chance of ever winning it, right? But whatever it was that was hit, it used to be $2. Mm-hmm. And then they raised it to $4 or $3 or $4. And I had exactly $2. I had to. And
did you have change in the little storage compartment of your truck?
Well, this is kind of a twofold. One, they printed the ticket out before getting the money, which was stupid.
Yeah, because they can't take it back at that point.
Yes.
They have to sell it to you.
But that meant that I now am obligated to find this dollar.
Right.
I did not have any money in my little change thing because I had used it at an air pump to get air in a tire that was going flat, which I then had to go have fixed. Mm-hmm. So I was out of quarters, and maybe I could have made it with, dimes and stuff, but I wasn't going to do that. So I did have to use an ATM, and I was very, very angry. I was unreasonably angry.
So your $2 purchase ended up being a $6 purchase.
Yeah, basically.
You had to pull out a dot. No, of course you wouldn't have pulled out.
No, I think you could only pull out a 20, so I had to pull out a 20.
And spend $3 on it.
Yeah, exactly. I think it even might have been more than $3. I will never go back to that station again. And the thing is that I don't know if you've went past it since then. If we've went to like Cane's recently, they put another gas station across the street, which has cheaper gas. And I want this other gas station to go out of business because they're always the most expensive gas in town. So
usually not how that works, but that's fine.
No, but it really doesn't. But I do want them to go out of business because I think they're shisty. But that's another thing. So anyway, glad your week's been going good. That's pretty good, and hopefully it continues to go good for you. Mine hasn't been as great. Not for any
just
real
mediocre or bad.
No, it hasn't been bad, but I hurt my shoulder, and I think it was just probably something with exercise, lifting and whatnot, and then probably compounded by sleeping on it wrong, because I'm the kind of person who, really attacks a pillow at night.
You don't want to wake up with no pillow. You're scared you're just gonna let it fly away.
Well, yes, but the problem is pillows don't last very long because I beat the crap out of them. But no, I usually like to have my arm like behind my head. I'm trying to do it now, and I'm like really crazy stiff. I have some motion, but whenever I try and like do something that needs any power, like there's no power.
Yeah.
Like literally, like I'm almost a little worried that there might be some ligament stuff, but I doubt it. I think it's just a hyperextension. But at any rate, it doesn't feel good, and I've been groaning like an old guy, so that hasn't been fun. But yeah, aside from that, just pretty standard week. I had to deal with somebody who's probably trying to do some shady stuff off of a pedal that I sold on Reverb and so forth. But I do have some new pedals that I've been playing with. There's the Wolf Boy pedal on there. That's the Walrus Monument. It's a tremolo pedal. It's pretty cool. I got this looper, which is a copy off of an Electro Harmonic 720. but it's pretty sick. So that's actually going to help me do some videos so that then I can sell the rest of the pedals that I don't actually want, but I had this nagging idea in my head to do comparison videos. So,
I do love that half of your pedals, when you name them, it sounds like you're talking about dispensary names for weed.
Wolf Boys, your dispensary? Jeez, what the hell kind of stuff is that? Oh, man. Yeah, well, pedal manufacturers are interesting in their naming conventions. Do you remember, what was that movie called? It had that kind of catchy song. It was the Wonders was their name. The pop band in the movie. I think it had Tom Hanks as the manager in it.
Okay.
That Thing You Do.
Okay.
So in the beginning, they wanted to spell wonders like ONEDER, and so they called them the O-Neaters. Well, I just found a pedal company that is named that. And they say, it's like, is it the Wonders? Is it the O-Neaters? You decide. So I've been looking
That's pretty awesome.
I've been looking at their pedals because I found that funny. If you can be clever like that, I might buy a pedal from you.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So anyway, I think we've been yakking a little bit. Too much, probably. So I guess we can go ahead and get in here. And I think you said comics first?
Yeah, let's change it up a little bit.
Okay. This is the first time I've actually cared about any of these comics for a little while.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is I don't think we really have to talk about them individually because they're all kind of leading to one thing.
Yeah,
okay?
Very true.
But anyway, we do have Bounty Hunters 13, and we have the War of the Bounty Hunters issue 1, which is crazy confusing to me. So you're not only crossing this with all the lines, but then you also have another centralized line, War of the Bounty Hunters, which does have a couple of issues.
And the other lines are ongoing during the War of the Bounty Hunters.
Yeah, exactly.
If they had stopped there for a little while for this series, it would have been easier. But yeah, this is going to be not fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit. I think they're trying to be a little too clever. But so our War of the Bounty Hunters 1, is that okay if we go over that first? Yeah. So this has Charles Soule attached to it. But I need to point out that the artwork in this looks like I'm looking at a 1970s comic. And I wonder if that was intentional.
Especially the holograms. The holograms are not good.
Yeah, I honestly wonder if this was like the intention. I haven't really done any research and I'm not going to. But we learn that Han Solo, who's in Carbonite, has been stolen by none other than the flippin' Crimson Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
And I read War of the Bounty Hunters 13 first. And I mean, they didn't do the reveal in that. They did the reveal in here. But if we just want to go ahead and spoil it already,
yeah,
Kira's back.
Yeah. Which is something, unfortunately, I've known for almost a month now.
Yeah, I know.
I've tried not to tell you about that, and it's been difficult, but I knew you'd be as excited as me about it. Although there's mixed results on people talking about it. There's a lot of people saying that, this is the reason we need Solo 2. Others saying this is going to bury Solo 2. There's no reason to have it now because we have the comics. But it is interesting either way. And with our timeline, she is now the leader of Crimson Dawn.
I mean, unless they do a swerve and they bring somebody else in. But let's just float this out like this, okay? Solo, great movie. Both liked it. Solo 2 would be a great idea. However, as we sort of talked about this pre-episode, I don't foresee any contingency where you have Kira appear in Solo 2 in any meaningful way.
Yeah.
Because when is the timeline? So timeline establishment, you had Dryden Voss, you had Kira working along. Obviously, we got the reveal of Maul. Mm-hmm. We know that Maul took over Crimson Dawn. We have Maul's story arc through the last season of Clone Wars. We have Maul's story arc end in Rebels as he was beaten by Obi-Wan Kenobi. Which, shout out Chase. He sent me a text because he's now watching through Rebels.
Oh, he got to that point?
Yeah, well, he said he beat Maul in 3 moves. It's like, yes. And if you notice, the moves...
It's the exact same move that he tried.
Sequence.
Yeah. Same as...
Qui-Gon.
Qui-Gon, yeah.
Yeah, he baited him into it. So Maul at this point in history is gone.
Mm-hmm.
And the Crimson Dawn was, fell apart. Now, Kira is basically here trying to bring it back. And here's the interesting thing now that I think about it, because I know you said that you found sources for this, but I didn't. There wasn't much talk that I saw, but I did see some articles about Emilia Clarke has notes on, what should be done for Solo 2 and all this stuff. And I was like, well, I wonder why this is coming up. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know Emilia Clarke as like the great director or screenwriter, but whatever. I like her as an actress.
Yeah.
So if she has ideas and we can get those pushed through, well, hell yeah, we want more Solo. But now it makes more sense to me because it's very clear that this is all coming out because of this. But still, that's only like 2 or 3 articles, man.
Right.
Nobody is getting, in my small little tiny social media world that I try and keep small and tiny, is not blowing this up. I haven't seen hashtag make Solo 2 happen on Twitter in a while.
I know. You think this would have revived it.
I don't know, man. I don't think anybody's reading them.
But it's the same with the books. No one's really caring about High Republic. No one cares about...
No, they're not talking about it. One of the two. Yeah. I don't know, man.
I don't know. I don't know why Star Wars literature and comics are always ignored by everybody but diehard fans. Or maybe it's just the diehard fans are having their own discussions outside of Twitter.
Yeah.
And trying to avoid the mainstream fans.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm pretty bad about listening to like any podcast now, let alone all the the ones that I was keeping up on. I'm just really bad about it.
As far as nerd podcasts, I haven't listened for a while. I still keep up with like Joe Rogan, some little ones that I enjoy, but that's about it.
Well, I'll tell you what. Are you using Spotify?
No, I really should get back into that.
Well, I'm about to say I'm going to have to jump on the Spotify bandwagon because Apple Podcasts sucks. Please go ahead and rate us 5 stars.
Still bad.
Oh, dude, it's terrible. The layout is terrible. But if you're still there and you haven't rated us 5 stars, go ahead and do that. But seriously, it's a terrible platform.
But then stop using it.
Yeah, I'm thinking I really don't want to pay for it because
How much is it?
I don't remember. It's not that much, but like I don't feel the pull to the streaming music. I just don't.
There's a lot of different services now. Yeah. I mean,
I get it. I just don't. I don't know. But anyway, and the Podbean app is not bad, but I just don't want to. Its user interface isn't quite as streamlined as I'd like it to be. So anyway, back to this. But I just haven't heard much about this. And the thing is like to your theory, I just don't think people are reading these in as mass because like a lot of the books, 2019, we constantly heard about new stuff coming out. People were discussing this stuff openly. It seems like now it's just slowed down. I wonder if honestly people are still reading.
I don't think so, honestly. And it's weird because it seems like with the shutdown and everything, people would have just been clamoring for content, whether it be book form or not.
Well, I did say it was a huge mistake that High Republic was pushed back. I think they would have gotten a better reception had they released it on time.
This, during shutdown, would have gotten a good reception too, I think.
Yeah, possibly.
It's weird. This is starting to climax when people just aren't inside caring about this kind of content as much. I mean, this is more of a winter thing, I feel like. Yeah. I don't know why they chose this time to release everything. But
yeah, for sure.
I think we're back at the burnout stage, honestly.
Possibly, yeah.
Which kind of started happening around Solo, obviously, and Last Jedi. And it's unfortunate because a lot of the content is decent. Now, I will say that Bounty Hunters has not been decent up to this point. This has been like the only issue that's interesting to me.
Yeah, well, let's go ahead and roll along in the story a little bit. We are picking up with Boba Fett, who now has an open bounty on him. Mm-hmm. We get Zuckuss and Forlom trying to... I think he might have killed Zuckuss.
He did kill Zuckuss.
Well, he might have. We can't say for sure because it was a Disney fall.
Well, I don't think Zuckuss saw it coming, regardless.
What the hell?
I don't ever remember before these comics him being clairvoyant.
Well, I
Not
don't
that I know much of them.
I don't know enough about him. Forlami does take the head so that he can see about this bounty, which he learns was, for some reason, taken out by Jabba the Hutt because he was taking too long. That didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
It just didn't make any sense to me. He was clearly on the way. We're making up the story now that, yeah, he ran into some trouble. Crimson Dawn stole Solo. Okay.
I just feel like Jabba put up with more crap with Han they did with Boba. It's
Well,
weird.
here's the thing, and I think this is possibly relating to, some folks that you had heard say this might kill a Solo too, because what we know is that when we get into episode 6, Boba brings Solo in. He stays with Jabba. They're obviously on good terms, so that probably means that Crimson Dawn got wiped out.
Yeah. Or at least drove back severely.
Yeah. Or we're going to overwrite. I hate saying
Don't
retcon.
say that.
I'm
Well,
going to
it
say
is
it's like overwriting.
Well, it is the appropriate use of the term, though.
Yeah.
But no, that would be terrible. That'd be the worst mistake they could make with this series.
Yeah, but anyway, I just don't see it makes any sense. But anyway, so we have this sort of back and forth about, well, the bounty was on you, Boba. It wasn't on Han Solo at all, and blah, blah, blah. And then it kind of looks like Crimson Dawn is trying to sell Solo, maybe trying to get some funds. But we obviously know there's ulterior motives because in this issue, we have Kira unmasked and named.
Did you guess that was Kira the second you saw the hooded figure?
Well, I guessed it when I read 13. Bounty
True,
Hunters
you
13.
did read that first.
I 100% said, yeah, Crimson Dawn,
Yeah.
lady. Any lady in mention of Crimson Dawn is obviously going to bring her up. I'm glad to see she's still alive.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she'll be alive at the end of this, though.
Kira's a cool character.
And I also don't believe that. I think that it would be a mistake, but theorizing here, do you think that they will attempt to unfreeze Solo before he's unfrozen by Leia?
I don't see the point in that because they even mentioned in the comic how he should be able to last years in stasis, essentially, and I don't see why they would try to do that now.
I don't think
unless another group tries to do it.
It wouldn't make any sense, but it might give some fanboys they got to see each other one last time.
Well, I guess that would be kind of where we decide whether Solo 2 is going to happen or not.
And then they did unthaw him, and instead of going back to Leia, he stays with Kira, and then they rewrite the never mind. They just rewrite everything.
Ben's Kira's son.
Luke's killed with his aunt and uncle.
I think we're past that timeline.
No, the time doesn't matter.
We've discovered time travel. Kira discovered it.
I'm just saying that, I think that would be very, almost like a poetic kind of love story type of thing. Mm-hmm. I would hate that it happened. I would like it because I really enjoyed them together.
But you want to see it happen in Solo 2 instead?
No, I don't want to see it at all because I don't think that it should happen.
No, it shouldn't.
I don't think that it should happen at all. I don't think that they should ever meet again. I think Kira said her goodbye to Han Solo in Solo, a Star Wars story.
Well, she said, "I'm right behind you."
No, I think they both knew.
Yeah,
and
they did.
And he totally knew as the yacht was pulling away. But I think that was their goodbye.
Yeah.
She was too deep. He was not in that life. It was never going to work, and they both realized that.
Yeah.
So I don't think that there's... I mean, yes, it would be cool because, again, I'm invested in, Emilia Clarke's portrayal. I'm invested in Alden Ehrenreich's portrayal of Han Solo. I like that chemistry between the two of them. I like their story. I think it was a great, first love story. one of my favorite movies, A Bronx Tale.
Mm.
You know, Chaz, whatever his last name is, I always forget. He's actually a really great director and everything. But anyway, you know, he tells the kid in the story, it's like you get 3 great loves, you know, and that was like Han Solo's first one. You know, that was his first great love, and that's okay, but doesn't always last. And I just think that Solo kind of bookended that for me. Not to say there can't be a Solo 2, because there totally should be.
Well,
I just think that it should be different stuff.
I would say you could go through so much more. Han had so many adventures. Why we got to focus on just what was already laid out in the groundworks of Solo, or the stuff leading up to A New Hope? Why can't we go somewhere else with it?
Do a Han and Lando adventure, and you know, the 3 of them just screwing the galaxy over. I don't know. Give him the good times, because like when Force Awakens hits, he's basically, no offense, but kind of washed up. You know, what did they say? What was the line? It's like you've swindled everyone in the galaxy or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, and then in the, 4, 5, and 6, he's kind of changing from that, super smuggler into somebody who cares a little bit more about the galaxy. Let's just show him in full-on young boy smuggler mode, working for Jabba.
The good times with Jabba, yeah.
Interacting. You could even interact with some of these bounty hunters.
Yep. That would be how you introduce them, right?
Yeah.
Not in these comics.
And doing good things along the way. Like we knew, he totally probably ran some spice, but maybe he also saved some more people from Kessel, by getting the spice. I don't know. Maybe he did other stuff. But you could write a really cool Solo story and not have to have it constantly just be, a direct
sequel to Solo.
Yeah. So I don't know. I still think we should give old Alden another chance. Get that guy back up.
He doesn't deserve the crap he gets.
And then listen, the end of the movie, you just have a Hall of Kira popping up. He's like, "Now I am Crimson Dawn." Gotta have a lightsaber. Yeah. Or she has a little tiny knife, like Dryden. It's like that's.
And then she cuts a pear with it.
Yes. You just see her take a little piece of pear off. Oh, I hate sand. God, that'd be funny. All right, so that's Bounty Hunters 1. Let's maneuver quickly through Bounty Hunters 13. War of the Bounty Hunters.
That was War of Bounty Hunters.
I hate this. I hate this naming convention. It's stupid. To be honest with you, this was fine, and I only really got excited about it when I actually heard Crimson Dawn, which was about halfway through the comic.
There was one thing I enjoyed with this. It has one of the coolest full-length covers where they show everything converging on Han Solo.
Was that in because there was?
I'm pretty sure it was in this one. Wasn't it this one?
No, I think it was in that one.
Double check.
Yeah, and no,
it might be that one.
What I'm saying is, I do remember it in this. I literally.
Well, I didn't mention it then. That was
with like
sweet.
Afra and Sana, and they're all like
Vader in the top right.
And, that one.
I thought that was the other one.
Yeah, you're look at Han's face.
I know.
But no, I guess just to point out this, because you're right, it was really cool. It is interesting. They're giving a ton of props to Han Solo, which
makes up for Afra.
Well,
just a little bit.
Yeah, sort of. But the thing is that, I think that Han, in a way, has been over discussed because there's so many people that said that's the cool guy. Yeah. To where it's almost
including
become
us.
Oh, true. But it's almost become, well, yeah, we all know he's the cool guy, but let's move on.
Yeah.
But now we're actually peeling back some of the layers of the onion and showing the interconnectivity, not just that he's a cool guy, but everything is kind of woven in here. The rebels, they're looking for him. They think of him as family. Afra and Sana. Sana's like, maybe we should help. Afra's like, I might have shot bees at him one time. Jabba the Hutt, the work he's done for Jabba. And like the thing is I don't think Jabba hates Han Solo.
No, it's just bad for business.
Yeah, but it's just a business thing. But I think if Han always worked out, he'd be the number one guy. And then, we obviously throw in, Cobb and Dengar because they're also looking. And then Vader, interestingly enough, because obviously Vader now wants to murder everyone that was ever friends with Luke Skywalker for some reason. So anyway, we'll get back to that. So Bounty Hunters 13, we have Valance and Dengar looking around and trying to get information, but instead of talking to people, they just kill everyone, and then they kill some more people and blow some stuff up.
Yeah, first third of this is pretty generic.
It's dumb.
Bounty hunter stuff.
This comic book has gotten so over the top. It's like a 90s action movie with anime. But Valance does meet Chewie, and Chewie, kind of maybe takes a little unkind that, kind of shot at him, and Han tried to kill him. Yeah. But I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it, furball. But
I didn't mean. Oh, I'm not going to shoot you with my palm blasters. I'm just raising my hands up.
Honestly, that was the funniest thing in this entire series.
Yeah.
He was trying to sort of make peace with Chewie, and he holds up his hands like, I wasn't trying to shoot you with my palm blasters, and Chewie gets even more pissed off. That made me chuckle.
And then Dengar comes in. It's like, who do we got killed? Like, Dengar, shut up.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, Dengar didn't really help out there. But they kind of have a little bit of a truce. Chewbacca says, just
more
stay
of
out of
like
my way.
I accept that you can live. Just, I'll kill you if you get in my way.
Yeah, it's like, let me rescue Han. You do your own thing. Mm-hmm. Leave me alone. We do pick up with Tonga and Losha,
which I kind of forgot about, honestly.
Well, I did too, but
there's part of me like, but she died.
Well,
no, she didn't.
Well, Tonga was shot, and she
survives.
did. Yeah, she did survive, and she's kind of going back to, I guess, home base here, and it's ransacked. So we have Fortress of the Mourner's Wall. Sounds not hentai at all, or hentai.
That'd be Moaner's
Anime. Wall. Oh, never editing this podcast ever. But anyway, they kind of come on the scene, and everybody's pretty much been taken out. We get some more fighting with Chewie, but essentially, this group has been attacked by Crimson Dawn. So Crimson Dawn isn't just stealing Han Solos. They're kind of trying to take over. Hostile takeover of territory here. And now our friends and a Conehead.
Yeah.
Dude, this guy is a Conehead.
Is he the Conehead?
That was a terrible movie, by the way. I don't know why people like that. I thought it was terrible.
I don't even feel like it's a cult classic in my eyes. Like,
well, I don't want to go that far because I get it, but like there's
no. If I'm gonna say I don't like it, I'm not gonna call it a cult classic. I mean,
but
maybe
there's
by definition, yes.
There's some things that people still. I don't know. Are there any cult classics?
Wasn't that Saturday Night Live skit initially made into a movie?
Don't ask me that. I think don't remember.
Was.
Yeah, I don't really remember. But it is a cult classic for some people. Yeah. There are just some that I can't really. It's kind of some of those 80s comedies that just weren't. Anyway, whatever. I don't even know, was that in the 80s? Earlier, later? Who cares?
It'd be late 80s.
I don't care.
Early 90s.
I don't care.
That's fine.
So Crimson Dawn attacks. Valance is dangling people, trying to kill some folks, and then, and then there's somebody up here who shoots at him, and then, Crimson Dawn is after us. And then look at that ninja stuff for our next cover.
Looks like alternate skin Melina.
You know what? My first impression was like Ninja Turtles. Like this
really?
this is like Shredder-ette. This is like female Shredder.
Yeah, that would work too.
Or a mummy. Purple mummy. Dude, what is up with the artwork, man? What is up with the artwork in this? I don't expect like every panel to be like,
oh my God, look at Chewie on the cover. That's terrible. It's really bad.
But okay, and this is so this is the main cover.
It's bad.
Bounty Hunters 13. If you guys haven't seen the cover of
Violence
this,
is bad.
no, but this whole cover it doesn't.
It's anime.
It looks cheesy. Well, anyway, and then you just
and then
have
even C-3PO is terrible.
Yeah, you just have 3PO down there. Anyway, whatever. It is what it is. Not a great cover. I mean, Bounty Hunter, War of the Bounty Hunters, that one's okay.
Yeah.
You know, it's just sort of,
it's generic, but it's well done.
It's not bad. Yeah, it's okay. So, anything else we want to talk comic-wise, or you think we're ready to move around and sort of get into Bad Batch?
Yeah, side salad's done. Time for the main course.
Is it the main course?
Well, unless you want to say that our talk of how our weeks went is the main course.
Totally. All right, so
Bad Batch is the after-dinner mint.
Well, it's not bad. So we've got episode 9, Bounty Lost, and we pick up basically directly where we left off in our last episode. Cad Bane has Omega, and they've already left the planet. Crosshair is in pursuit of the Bad Batch, still being a jerk, and they make the jump. You know, despite the... We gotta save Omega. She's gone. Well, let's wait a little while until our aft shields are blown out.
Yeah.
Okay, make the jump. Yeah, I mean, gosh, I have a hard time sometimes just because they're so short.
We're back to our really, really, really awkward voice acting with Omega too.
I don't know. I mean, I don't really mind it as much, but like a lot of people have pointed out, it's very inflected. Some people have not like that as much. Some people do. I'm a little ambivalent, but you know, really from the start, we've both kind of said that it sort of sounded like, you know, they probably could have done more processing with the voice. I don't know. I wasn't really crazy on about it, but I get it. Some people aren't. And it's not the accent. It's just...
Some of the inflections, though, are kind of rough.
Yeah, well, I mean, that is legitimately the actress's speaking voice. So, like, I've watched interviews with her. I just, you know, I honestly, I don't think it has anything to do with inflection. I think it's the processing. I think it was processed poorly. When, you know, however they read lines or she read lines and recorded that, so... I mean, let's just get to the meat of the matter because we figure out why Omega is special, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, this had been a theory, one of a few that we threw around that didn't excite us and still doesn't after getting to figure it out. She is a perfect genetic copy of Jango. With no accelerated growth.
So Boba, she's a female Boba Fett.
She's Boba's sister, essentially. But Boba at the same time.
Yeah.
And basically the only reason she's important is because Jango's DNA sample is degrading, and they're able to use her to continue the cloning process.
Yeah, which we've talked about. I mean, that's something that's been shouted out in... a lot of sci-fi, the replicant fading, you know, the idea that, you know, you're basically a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy.
I don't think we ever really dealt with that with Palpatine, did we?
I don't think so. No.
It's funny we're getting into it just now.
Yeah. Well, so again, like Omega is basically Gen 1, like Rex, like Boba. And this led into a conversation we had earlier. What is the end game? Mm-hmm. You know, because so they just want to make more clones. What does that matter in the grand scheme of things? I mean, what does just make? It's obviously the Empire is kind of done with clones, and we know that eventually they are done with clones.
You're not going to prove otherwise.
So you had kind of talked about the possibility that it might be something in line with them trying to maybe take on the Empire, right?
Or at least defend their world against the Empire.
Yeah, which
we all know how that would end, regardless of the Death Star.
Yeah, I just don't really get it.
It's narrow-minded of the Kaminoans, I think, if this is truly what their plan is. Because, I mean, and we don't know how many clones they can produce. Maybe they can produce an amount secretly within 6 months to a year, whatever the growth time is for a clone, that could rival the Empire, but more than likely not.
Yeah. Yeah.
The amount of resources they would burn to do that, and I mean, it would be pretty blatantly obvious right away what they were doing to the Empire.
Yeah, sure. And I don't think we're done with that yet. I don't think I feel like we don't have the whole story yet.
Yeah.
But, dude, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure, man. I think
it's just not exciting, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I wasn't really down with the force sensitive thing, but like, I just kind of wish it were something else.
Yeah.
You know? A clone of somebody. I still like the what was my God, I'm forgetting his name. The clone of, that I said like way back when. I can't, gosh, Tarkin.
Oh.
Like a Tarkin, Tarkin's daughter clone thing.
Hadn't we even thrown out the idea that it was like, Obi-Wan's spark?
Satine.
Satine.
Yeah.
Clone of Satine.
Yeah. With a New Zealand accent.
Yeah, why not?
No, I mean, we get it. It's fine. I mean, I just hope I kind of hope there's a little bit more to it than that.
Yeah.
But that's what we have for now. We also have the Kaminoans wanting her back, and they are sending bounty hunters.
Mm-hmm.
And effectively, our prime minister is saying, get what you need and then destroy the clone.
Yeah. Which I find a little, again, short-sighted.
Well, I don't think the Kaminoans are very smart, honestly.
They're not tacticians. They know how to create a soldier, but they don't know how to plan for anything, I feel.
Yeah, and we were talking about them like, we were talking about, I had a literal brain fart there. So we were talking about, them creating the force to like, I don't know, defend themselves, but like with what? They don't really have ships, do they? Yeah. I mean, what are they going to defend themselves?
And are they supplying the weapons, or because I'm pretty sure the Republic supplied weapons as well.
Yeah, I mean, they just supplied the clones, right?
Yeah. I mean, they would have had to have enough weapons to train them, but that'd be about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm a little meh on it. I was trying to look up a name. I don't care enough anymore. Okay. So, Cad Bane has Omega. Omega outsmarts the bot, which, of course, I mean, droids. I'll fix your leg, and I totally won't turn you off. And then he turns him off. Yeah. Omega escapes, and I do have to say, I really do appreciate Cad Bane's voice acting. I know we said that last week. I still appreciate it. It's still very well done here. But we are in an abandoned Kaminoan facility. Mm-hmm. This is where the handoff was supposed to go. And I thought that the visual was really cool. There's a lot of fog clouds, basically. They were in the clouds. Not a cloud city. I mean, a cloud city, but not the cloud city. Anyway. So it's very misty, and I thought that because I've complained about the brush stroke animation, but every now and again they do like a really cool atmospheric thing, and I thought this was really neat as Omega is trying to contact the Bad Batch, which she does, and again this whole platform has power. What is up with everything just having power?
All abandoned things have power for at least 200-300 years, apparently.
I guess. This place is pretty beat up too.
Yeah.
But anyway, she is able to get the Bad Batch there eventually, but we run into Fennec Shand again. Mm-hmm. She is, and this was the name I was trying to remember, but the good Kaminoan who doesn't want to kill Omega.
Oh.
You know that one.
Yeah.
Who wears red.
Yeah. The red shirt.
The red shirt. I made the comment, so they weren't going to send her because of her attachment to Omega, so they sent another one who was just dressed in all white. I was like, I think that's the new red shirt. That one's totally dead, and we called it. And Fennec did execute her. But Fennec shows up, and, we're competing. This is a competing job, but not for the same sources. And it seems like they're trying to set up Shand as being like a do-good, like a little bit more of a do-gooder. When we first caught word of her, she was an assassin. Like, she murdered people for like a living.
Yeah.
And now she's trying to help little girls. I mean, obviously she's going for the money too, but still, I don't know. It didn't really seem on brand for me. Like, it seemed on brand when you're thinking about Fennec after she's shot, and Boba helps her and she's doing that whole thing. But I don't know. I'm not quite sure about that. I kind of wish she was more brutal.
Well, it just, because she is at the beginning of Mando. So it's kind of a continuity thing. In a way, it's like, well, what made her a jerk again?
Popularity of the character.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really get it. And the thing that I was thinking about the most when Bane and Fennec were sort of fighting was, are they going to sacrifice Cad Bane for Fennec Shand's character? Which, to be honest, I kind of had a little bit of a pushback as like, well, I'm just enjoying him right now. I didn't really enjoy him in Clone Wars as much, but I
didn't either.
But I'm enjoying him now, and it's like, but honestly, I think that would have been really impactful.
It would have. It would have helped cement her place in the guild as well, I think, in a way.
Maybe. I just think it makes more sense from sort of that brutal sort of, it's like, well, she has a reputation for a reason. It's not just made up. Because right now, it kind of feels more like, yeah, she's BA. Yeah, she does all this stuff. But, it seems like she's actually trying to help this girl. She's not like trying to hurt her. And Cad, I don't know. I mean, if he had to, he'd probably kill her, you know, because he's not a good guy.
No, he's not at all.
So, but they really don't even give Fennec really the upper hand in combat either. I mean, Bane kind of clips her wings a little bit, honestly. I mean, they get in passable blows between each other, but Bane does sort of wind up a little bit more positive towards the end, despite the fact that she does do her little, 2 balls on rope trap thing and like kicks him to a Disney death, which of course he doesn't have a Disney death. He's got rocket boots.
Right. Of course he does.
But yeah, I wonder, because I kind of do feel it would be a little bit more impactful for her character development at this time. It's like, yeah, I'm not really a good person right now, but I might be one day, but right now I'm taking care of business.
Right.
So I don't know, man. I don't know about that. Omega does encounter some clone tanks, weird alien clone tanks.
Not well done clones, that's for sure.
Well, this also made me laugh because Omega does release one of them on Fennec and just drops a naked alien on her, which basically looks like a Kaminoan.
Yeah, with a slightly shorter neck.
Just drops a naked alien on her.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
pretty weird.
Just floppy naked. Oh, it was weird.
Dead naked alien, by the way.
Well, dead naked alien.
Do have to emphasize that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to freeze frame it as we just get off me. But seriously, though, it does look like a Kaminoan, but like shrunken, like smaller. So, again, getting back to sort of thought processes, I mean, are they really making a clone army, or is there something wrong with like the Kaminoans and like somehow this
Maybe
is
that's
like,
why they're trying to perfect cloning.
maybe.
Can't reproduce. It's maybe a disease of some kind.
Yeah, could be. I'm not sure, but I look at these weird rejects and it looks like some sort of thing with Kaminoans more so than just more clone troopers. But who knows? Oh, let's see here. Just to fast forward a little bit, Omega does get away on a escape pod and is retrieved by the Bad Batch, who promptly tells her, off screen that, you know, you're special, but didn't tell you why, and then it's just inferred.
Yeah.
Well, we should tell her. Okay, you're special because.
Do.
Yeah. So anyway, she's special because she's basically Gen 1, which is the only time a Gen 1 has ever been special. But no, I get it. I mean, there you go. So she's special. She's back with the Bad Batch. Fennec Shand is contacted by our Kaminoan, and she says, "Nah, leave her alone. She's fine with them."
Yep.
So at least Shan, I don't know, is she going to be back at all? Is there any need to have her back?
That depends on what the Bad Batch gets themselves into.
True enough. Yeah, not much else, is there?
No,
That's
really.
pretty much the episode. Not a bad episode.
No.
Pretty good overall. We do get the Disney promise. Promise me that I'll never go back to. I promise. You promise. That's totally coming, by the way. I've been kidnapped again. You promise.
This is bullcrap.
Yeah, I mean, you feel for the kid. She's obviously not been like bad with this group, and you know she's learned. She's maybe murdered a few people with her bow,
Just a few.
but
okay.
you know she's doing some stuff. She's not just like a hindrance, really. But I don't know, man. I mean, what do we do if that's all it is? Like we're just, and here's the thing. Doesn't this story sound familiar? Like it sounds.
In which way?
It sounds awful familiar to me because there's another show. I'm not going to name it, but there's another show with a kid who is used for some experiments, who gets kidnapped and rescued a few times by a father figure who promised him, "I'll never let you go." You know, just it's the Mandalorian, like almost all over again.
Yeah. Yeah. Why do you think that is, though? I mean, why are we going this route again? Is it laziness, or is it just...
No, I don't necessarily
because it doesn't hit the same way as Mando. Obviously, it's not gold. So why
well, I don't know, but like we've had a lot of talk about similarities like between the sequels and the original trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been well talked about. I don't know. Are there any original ideas? Granted, there's the potential that the Omega story of why they want her is very different from Grogu, who we assume, because of his Force sensitivity, they're wanting it more for, Palpatine clones, right? I mean, we're pretty much Palpatine clones.
Yeah.
Or at least something to that effect. I want to live forever.
So here's the question: why?
Next, Luke's going to show up next season and be like, "I will train you. I'm not Force sensitive.
I will train you anyway.
I will train you. I also have a really cool other guy here with me. He's a little bit smaller and he likes frogs, but
I will train you not to get your head cut off by a lightsaber."
Isn't your timeline a little bit off? I mean, don't worry about that. Let's go train.
But shouldn't you be like, oh, I don't know, like 6 months old? Don't worry about that.
It's little baby Luke coming around.
He's in a pod right next to Grogu. Now I want to see a baby Luke in the Grogu pod. That'd be awesome.
They're just levitating like a rattle in between each other.
They're playing with toys, like passing them back and forth with the Force.
That'd be funny. Yeah, I don't know.
Grogu's like pouring a little sand in Luke's crib pod, and he's crying like a baby, and he's like throwing pears at Grogu. Yeah.
At that point, Grogu's still not like a baby. He's still, a little older. Okay. Well, listen. I'm not bashing the show. It's fine, but it does feel a lot like kind of Mandalorian, early Mandalorian, with the kid and the experiments and the scientists and all that stuff. So I don't know. I don't know how that'll hold. I'm hoping there's more to Omega than just this, just being a Gen 1 clone. To be honest, I think it would be awesome if it was like, oh no, I was mistaken. She's not a clone at all, or something like that. Yeah, just give
Who's this random child then? I don't know.
just screw it. Just screw it up. I don't care. But no, I mean it's been an okay series. It just, like I said, it feels eerily too similar to Mandalorian, and I don't need that.
Yeah,
I don't need my intelligence prodded in that way.
Well, it makes you worried that they're going to do a cash grab for every one of these series coming out and just kind of copy and paste the Mando story.
That being said, though, that's not a unique idea. You know what I mean?
I understand.
I mean, that's happened so much in history. Like, if you think about, like, some of the cartoons that we watch that, that were all... I can't remember that particular animation style, but it was basically all, like, carbon copy of each other, just plug and play new players.
Yeah.
So... this sort of stuff does happen a lot, and I think that Hollywood is. I'm just using Hollywood as a blanket term. I think they've ran out of a lot of original ideas. Yeah. We're. I think we're getting a live action Snow White at some point.
I saw that.
Who wants that? I mean, I don't. Snow White was never one of my favorite. I mean, my favorite was Mulan, and we got a live action Mulan, and that was.
It was not.
It was like $50. No, it wasn't. Yeah,
it wasn't terrible.
It
wasn't great.
I didn't really enjoy it as much. Yeah. I tried. I really did try.
I did too.
There are some interesting characters and some slapstick humor, but it just wasn't the same.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then we have what are we on, phase 4 for Marvel?
I don't keep up with Marvel anymore, but that sounds about right.
Here, have another Ant-Man movie and there's gonna be another Suicide Squad with Idris Elba.
Yeah.
Yeah, Doctor Strange. I don't know, just milking the cow too much, man.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, it's funny because we were on remake Burnout, it seems like a decade ago.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if anybody else had those thoughts about Bad Batch, though. Because there were a ton of people that were talking about the rehashing and it's getting late. I'm getting tired. For the sequel trilogy. A lot of people were talking about that all the way through, aside from Last Jedi, which just blew everybody. But seriously, I don't know. I don't know what the idea here is. I just hope there's more to it. Yeah. Not a bad show. They're not a little 20-minute Friday night.
Yeah.
Nothing big there. So I think that's it for Bad Batch. Anything else you want to chat about? It's getting late over here.
No. And it's not because I'm about to pass out. There's not much more to say about either the TV show or the comics. I think I'm good.
No, I'm with you too. I'm fading. We just recorded really early or really late tonight. I can't even talk now. It is time to go. I probably rambled enough. So anyway, folks, hopefully you enjoyed today's episode. Excuse our tiredness. But yeah, let us know what you thought. Do you think Bad Batch is a rehash of Mandalorian? It's feeling a little similar. Find us on social media. We hate it, but we're there. Twitter at TC Plan Podcast. You can find us on Facebook. Or if you just like to send us a little email transmission out there, tcplanpodcast@gmail.com is that email. All this can be found in the notes down below or in the description or whatever. Show notes. I see a lot of people call them show notes.
Yeah.
I never understood that. They're not really show notes. They're basically all your links to 10% off of Blue Chew. Yeah. It's anyway, sorry.
Show notes actually explains what you talked about.
Yeah. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But yeah, we got to wrap this up. See how long we can wrap it up. No, but seriously, let us know what your thoughts are. We'd love to hear from you. And guess you guys have a great rest of your week.
And as always, may the Force be with you.